Welcome back, ladies and gents. We have NiP and Na'Vi about to face off in map number 3. It will be Train. And I have no idea what happened towards the end of Mirage. No idea whatsoever. It kind of seemed like Na'Vi made a series of mistakes.
It was a mental breakdown.
They went on tilt. They made a buy that made absolutely no sense. They were lucky, though, because NiP also just completely blew it. And then NiP just lost the game. When NiP were like in the perfect position to actually win the game, or at least get overtime. But it's all, the slates are wiped clean. Everything's wiped clean, James. Hygiene is good. And now we go to Train.
We love good hygiene here at PGL in Shanghai. Good hygiene just makes for a great day, doesn't it? Let's be honest. Train, I think the desk raised questions about the AWPs and a number of AWPs, especially with a focus on Ninjas in Pyjamas, obviously. So time will tell. We'll see who starts on the CT side first soon enough. Transitioning in, and it looks like it will be Na'Vi starting on the CT side, so perhaps we will have to wait. I think Forest is no stranger to the sniper rifle on Train. I mean, one can be enough. You don't need to have two. But yeah, this is very interesting. I mean, I think the benefit for Ninjas in Pyjamas is that they might not know the full extent of how they lost the last round of the previous map. Very unusual, to say the least, but it is history now, and there's no point dwelling on it. It's time to move on, move forward. Yeah,
they may also, like, the way that they may look at it is like, well, guys, we've kind of made it way too hard for ourselves by like making all the mistakes in the first half, which I think is like it would kind of be a good way to look at it right now, because you can't really fix that result that just happened there right at this point in time when you're still playing the series out. So you want to frame things well, move forwards, and I mean, Train has always been a place of comfort for NiP, one way or another. Even back when it first released, and they weren't good on it. Even though, like, historically in the previous iterations of Counter-Strike, it was always like home turf, a good home turf pick for them. But they played it until they were good on it. So eventually they got there. And I'm really curious how the addition of Electro will go, because Draken on the T side was actually really important for the way that NiP were playing. And so I can't wait to see how the adjustment works, or how they decided to adjust with Electro. I think it's going to be fun to watch. And I mean, Na'Vi, their history of the map, you know, if we're talking about histories on Train, they have an incredible history here. For a long time ago, they were at times the best team in the world on Train for a while. And then, you know, you had SK's era of Train coming in. I mean, this should be a really good finisher. I think this is one of the best maps to finish on for these two teams.
Ooh, are we starting with a knife? Knife. I love my knives. It's funny, people are like, oh my god, you know, all the OP skins crap's happening, let's sell all my stuff. I'll never sell my stuff. If you're buying CSGO stuff as an investment,
whoa,
then maybe your time has come and gone.
A simple killed Flamey.
Happens.
And, well, NiP get to start on their favored side. Which presumably, I would imagine they would pick CT. Are they going to stay T? Are they going to do it? I don't know, man. Could get on that CT side. There it is. On the CT side they go. NiP in blue. Na'Vi in gold. Is that gold? I think it's kind of a gold. Bronzy. Got more goldy than bronze.
Yeah, it's kind of gold. By default, it's more like urine color, but...
Well, that's a very eloquent way to describe it. Oh, it's just Kevlars for NiP. Kevlars, only no kits. I have to say, I'm never really a fan of no kit, especially in pistol rounds. I feel like you can always afford a kit. You know, a kit in the smoke goes a really long way to helping you win a round, but they opt to go for Kevlar only.
See if it pays off. T players streaming through the site. Rez getting picked off eventually. Lecro's seen the bomb now, and it's surrounded by these smokes. Gives him a few seconds of extra play, but the smokes have gone now. But the numbers are here. Flamey trying to position for a 1v1, but he loses the 1v1. And that is 1-0 to Ninjas in Pyjamas. No plant either.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a great start for NiP. It's gonna be cool. I mean, actually, NiP's pistol strength now, especially with Lecro on the lineup, it's actually a bit ridiculous. You've got not only Forest, you've got Dennis, and now you've got Lecro as well. I mean, obviously, Rez and Get Right are going to be great pistol players, but like Forest, Dennis, and Lecro really stand above most in that category. So that's a really cool dynamic. And we'll see the force spike coming out from Na'Vi, but how much can we expect from this? They don't have utility to back it up, so they're going to have to just strafe out and get kills, which is going to be tough against the likes of NiP here.
4 pistols remain. Electronic with a smoke, but I don't know if they'll get into position to use it. Great flash. Electronic knows what's up, but he can't do anything about it. 5 versus 3 at the moment. Edward and Zeus moving through to their doom, surely. Zeus with the Honey Badger, Desert Eagle. No bites for him, though. No rabies to be spread. 2-0. And, yeah, no plant. How many kills do we have here? 2 kills for Na'Vi, which is fantastic news for Ninjas in Pyjamas. No plant, practically no kills, means that there can be money early for Ninjas in Pyjamas. Obviously, it's not quite there just yet, but we're only 2 rounds in. This will be a key round with which to clean that up. Rez again favouring the MP7. Lecro on the scouts for the time being.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if NiP can keep hold of that money. You'd like to think so, because if they were not able to, this is a world in which they lose players to Glocks. Never fun. Na'Vi just looking to wait for a timing to burst. Be a couple of smokes dropped by NiP. We see one on Ali. We saw one just dissipate towards the pop dog position. So now it's going to be a better spot for Na'Vi to go for the burst onto whichever position they desire. But their chances are going to be pretty difficult here. I mean, we've got the counter utility being utilized here by NiP effectively. Molotov drop to slow them down, a smoke drop to slow them down. Repositioning there for NiP. You see Get Right now going into sort of a middle position. Actually going towards connector. So this is really cool because there's lots of utility left to throw onto the bomb train when Na'Vi are allowed down into that position. And if they get a plant, well, that's great. But NiP are trying to play around in which they don't lose money. That's what they're really looking for here.
35 seconds. Does this raise the opportunity for a fast play? They're starting to stream it. Okay. Okay, Electronic. Oh, that's oh my God. Is this winnable now? Look how far they're spread into the B bomb site. This is ridiculous. This could be the monetary impact we were looking for Na'Vi. Look at the spread from Electronic. This is quite an unlikely round. They wanted a bomb plant. They've got a 4 versus 1. It's not supposed to go like this. But it has. That's fantastic for Na'Vi. They've got to be laughing. But for NiP, you wonder if there's even any talk on the comms. Get Right was in the red. He got picked off. Electronic gets the gun. The spray transfer is pornography.
Bit outrageous. A little bit outrageous. Have to see whether or not there's going to be a recovery here for NiP. I mean, of course, we saw previously that there were a lot of issues on Mirage for both sides. And we'll see Simple going quickly into the Olafmeister position. Ooh, he spots the shadow, he spots the foot. And soon perhaps will spot ahead. Indeed he will, and that'll be blown off promptly. As Simple now rotates around to see if he can get any more action here. Any more information. NiP would do well to steal away the round back in incredulous, outrageous fashion that Na'Vi just stole one from them. It's going to be difficult though. We'll see Forrest trying his best with the USP. Can't do too much. And it seems that Na'Vi are slowly but surely wearing down NiP. But as I say that, 2 immediate headshots coming in from the likes of Get Right and Dennis. And now they take advantage. And Dennis has Flamey on 9 HP. This is looking like they flipped the tables.
What the hell's going on, Dan? 1 minute to avert disaster. Interestingly, Get Right walks over an M4. Notes how he doesn't pick up the M4. A lot of people at home might pick up like, ooh, there's a rifle, but if he picks up that M4, his MP9 hits the floor. The people below him hear him. They know they're being flanked. So he can't pick it up. You see now, he stops until his teammate sees these players. They can see the bomb, so Get Right can continue his flank. More about that later. Flame move 9 HP, and he's gone. So lots of small things happening there again. Get Right sees the M4, but he knows he can't pick it up because it would concede his position. He goes all the way down the stairs, but he doesn't continue to flank. They're happy to contain because he doesn't know if they're coming back towards Pop. So he could get caught out if he continues his rotation. But then his teammate immediately sees and engages one player in the main position, and he feels confident to continue his flank. And then there we go. So somehow, NiP have got themselves out of a bind. But we've got both teams on the bind now, 3-1. Simple on the AWP, Flamey on a Deagle. Pretty good buy for Ninjas in Pyjamas for the most part. Get right to the MP9, but that's fine. It's got a fast fire rate. He can play at close range. It can be utilized. If he has to rotate with it, that's another problem, but it could be a lot worse.
A lot of pressure on Simple to really be able to find a way that he, to somehow make a kill with this AWP. I mean, if he can't open up the map, then his teammates will have to start closing the distance. They don't have much utility to do that with. So Simple really needs to find something.
And you can see all the angles that a player in main has to worry about by Simple's position. There's no sniper on the... Well, there's actually Lekro's got a scout, but once the AWP comes into play, a dedicated AWPer could be above those back trains, could be peeking from the IV position, could be in the camera or stop sign position, and then that's before you get to connector and so on, where a potential boost could come in as well, or the A-bomb train. So there's a lot of places to be aware of when you are a team player in main. Forrest trying to hold down the train. Gets traded. Now we see Dennis spots one player, might see two. Second player is low. Simple has to deliver here, and he will give him the frag.
Lekro waiting patiently. He's got Get Right with him. Well, not anymore. And Lekro will be finished off in much the same fashion as Get Right. So Na'Vi managed to convert, and it all started off with, I believe, Zeus's pick into, I think it was Rez, into the A train yard. And yeah, there it is. And he will drop down with a flashbang. I like that. I think some teams overcomplicate it a little bit sometimes. And works out really well for Na'Vi. But now we'll see if NiP can do what they did. Again, they've got limited, very limited buy. They've just a few Eagles and a CZ. Yeah, do some smokes and flashes though. So maybe they can find something. Flash is coming in. Edward spotted. NiP able to track some of the movement here of the Na'Vi players. But Na'Vi do not have to rush this. Good move here from Edward when there's no AWP in play. Coming out upper is very strong. Does have to worry about a few different angles, but he has support. And you see they'll be able to take these positions with the superior firepower.
He knows he's limited though. As soon as he comes out and peaks that position, he is on a clock. Because the longer he's exposed, the more likely he is to get fragged. Simple. It will cost him, but I'm sure his AWP will be collected by one of these players. Yeah, just about making it there as Electronic. Very unusual, abrupt start for these teams to train with those rounds going back and forth. But maybe Na'Vi can find stability now. They have put NiP in such a poor position here with a 3-3 scoreline.
Yeah, I mean, it looked so positive, the way things opened up out of the gate for NiP, but Na'Vi sending a statement and just USPs here for Na'Vi to deal with. And it should be pretty easy. Got Simple moving forward. Once they get into the Olofmeister position, it's definitely a good spot for Simple to operate from. You want to get him into the action as soon as you can, and he's going to get that started for Na'Vi. And there it is, a nice fast anti-eco round from Na'Vi, just straight into the A yard without too much trouble. And now we move into another buy for NiP. But again, they don't really have an optimal situation. No one can afford an AWP. And no one can afford full utility either.
Simple still the solo sniper. But again, not having a sniper to duel against may limit what he might find from the A main position. But he moves elsewhere. Two plays towards IV for Na'Vi, showing some presence around the map. So it'll be hard for NiP to discern what exactly the intentions are of the Na'Vi side for now. Edward with a Mach 10. So he may be sacrificed for some information or to try and pull rotation later on. Or maybe even cannon fodder at the front of a charge.
That was a nice nade. It bounced really far. Risk could not avoid it. Right now, Na'Vi have not done too much other than that, though, as far as damage to NiP is concerned, although NiP are burning utility as the clock runs down. And that's one approach one strategy that you can apply when you know that the team that you're playing against hasn't got maximum utility. If you play a really slow pace to that round, they're going to burn the majority of it, and then you go for your set piece, then you go for your play when there's no counter grenades to fight against you with. And then the AK should reign supreme. That's the theory, that's the promise. Rez, though, promises of his own with the M4. Dennis looking a bit slow to respond there, and he's going to go down a bit too easily. That's going to put a lot of pressure onto Electro. Falls off the train in a timely spot there to take the frag onto Zeus. The trade comes in, though, regardless. 2 versus 3 for NiP.
Bomb planted, and the T's have control of the IV position, which is very important when you want to plant the bomb and post-plant as well. Very difficult, easy crossfire, especially with the man advantage they have at the moment. Rez has a kit, Get Right does not. They've got 1 flashbang. They have to assume that somebody is going to be around that IV position, because otherwise, unlikely the bomb would be planted in this fashion. Might be back-trained instead. But with his teammate picked off, Get Right will abandon ship, and he will be chased by these Na'Vi players who look to extend their lead to 5 rounds here on the train. Again, it is the last map of this best of 3. After a turbulent ride in the final rounds of the previous map for Na'Vi. Seems they're all playing, all singing from the same hymn sheet once again.
Did you sing hymns in school, James?
I did.
What was your favorite?
I didn't have a favorite per se. Wasn't my favorite pastime.
No.
But primary school, I went to a Roman Catholic school. We had to sing hymns from a hymn book. It wasn't quite the, it wasn't a drum and bass party by any means, but 5-3. I forgot most of them. I remember some now and then, but none come to mind right now.
I remember some, but none I can remember right now.
If I sat down and thought about it, I would remember like 1 or 2, but I'm not about to do that. Ave Maria was one. Dominus, all that kind of stuff. Latin, get the Latin popping.
Kumbaya.
I didn't sing Kumbaya.
Oh.
What kind of school did you go to?
Well,
I thought mine was bad.
Rez, he's going to be pushed in a great position, and that's going to allow the rest of his teammates to stack B. This could work out perfectly. If NiP causes enough trouble in the front, then perhaps Rez can sneak in the back. And here goes an RV into that B bomb site. The Deagles do not find the shots that they need to, not just yet at least for Lekro. And awkward for Get Right. Just no fights really going as they should initially, but it seems as though Dennis and Forrest are able to remedy the situation somewhat. And Rez is going to be coming into the action, finally showing his face. And it might be they can catch somebody off guard here. That said, nice defensive molly in the back will push Rez into the high position. And that's where Zeus will defend, though. So it doesn't work out. It looks really promising. That looks so promising.
It was really annoying for Get Right. I think he was peeking from next to Oil Train. There was a Molotov on top of Oil Train, and he was holding his angle, waiting for the guy to come in from Sidewalk, and he was just on fire from the Molotov, which was above him. That's got to be really irritating. Then he was left with, like, I don't know, 37 HP or something afterwards. That has to be annoying, but here we are.
Nice. Double AWP. Lekro and Dennis. I like that. That is pretty cool to see. Again, this is a team of all-rounders at this point. Like, it's just, you add Lekro in there, you don't have any players that can't do, oh, that is, come on, man. Simple. No, didn't stop that. It's not allowed. It's not allowed. I think Lekro got hit in the head as well, because you heard that.
That's happened a lot.
That fleshy sort of.
I think there was one round where Zeus got headshot 4 times and was still alive through various objects on overpass. 1 minute 20 on the clock. Forrest has made a play through the IV position, at least halfway. Dennis is still alive. Lekro over towards the stop sign, or camera, as it's often called in the UK at the very least. Get Right still alone towards the B bomb site, and Zeus and Electronic are moving in on the upper ground. I don't know if he's got sound cues just yet, but he's got the visual ones. Throwing a flashbang that they fall down now, and he'll get shot through the oil position. Lekro and Dennis in the connector, but Flamey, I'm not sure if he's on a flank. I don't think he is. Simple around the ladder position. And this is getting problematic now. They can't really get into position. They've got 2 players at the back of the B bomb site, but they know Electronic is close. They really need some frags here. 3 versus 5. Bomb not down yet, but they've got to find some kills.
Dennis found 1. This is number 2 for Forrest whenever he wants to take it, although Maybe it'll go away. That's it. It comes back into vision. Forrest being very patient. Gives up his position to make that frag. That's why he waited for so long. Dennis gets another one, but Simple can just pull the trigger on the kill on the Forest whenever he wants at this point. He's really biding his time in this 2v2. Really biding his time. Finally comes in for the frag. And Dennis is long gone. Forrest was just keeping them occupied.
If that grenade went to default, it would have been Simple alone. As you said, it was on about 48 HP. But I think it went for middle train instead, middle of the bomb train. Behind those two towers. And all the nuclear tools will be exploderized. And that is round number 7 for Na'Vi. Nice, if you're a Na'Vi player. NiP, they need more out of this. They still have the AWP on Dennis. They need to save one round. So we'll see what he can do with the hero AWP. Of course, you've got Simple on the server, so you've got to be careful, as I'm sure Lecro will tell his teammates. So previously, Lecro was holding an angle towards Connector from, well, towards teammate from Connector, and Dennis was holding the Olaf angle from Ivy. Ivy's a cool position because you can do that. You can go towards Pop. You can go towards Ivy, of course, as well. With certain smokes, you can be on the trains looking into Pop. Quite deep. Maybe it's spawn dependent where he chooses to go. Could make a play up a B, I don't know. But they need an early frag, ideally, with the AWP, and then maybe rotate it somewhere else. Technically, reigning champion, no? No. Of course, it's Cloud9. Back in the ring.
I was going to say,
Back in the ring.
My goodness. Right. Dennis on the AWP is the only hope. He's the only hope for NiP right here. They're having a hard time. If you consider how this series opened up, NiP looked like they were in sick shape. They looked in such good form. But since then, we haven't seen it. We have not seen the likes of overpass NiP from just, you know, like a mere hour and a half ago. I'm not sure where they went. Hopefully for them, for their sake, they come back. But it's a good forward position from Rez once again. It's similar round as to the previous one where we saw NiP have pistols. They push Rez into the T-main position and they stack towards the B-bomb side. So very similar. The only difference is they're keeping one towards Ali at this time. Nice victory there for Rez. Ooh, I think he got shot through the wall there and finished off by Zeus. So he's done some good damage, got some good information. The question is now what NiP can do off the rotation.
Dennis deploying some grenades. And that allows Lecro to pop out of Connector, but can't find any players just yet. One by Popdog, one by Ebox. There is Simple, the only man he sees. And Dennis tries to save his AWP, and maybe his teammates can be the human shield now. Although there are limitations. Get Right picks up the AWP. Can he save it for another round? Lots of places to save in T-spawn. Oh, too late to go deeper. He's been spotted already. Got to reload in those, so there is a chance. Probably good in this spot. Has the window advantage. You can look, get a high ground peek in. And it seems that Zeus will not pursue any further. Although they definitely had the money to do it. So I think even if he's likely to die, it's worth him chasing that AWP rather than giving it up for free. 8-3 now. 5-round lead for Na'Vi. The AWP will be with Lecro. Will it be a Connector peak once again? The CTs always get to Connector before the Ts get to T-main. Got to be careful about those wallbangs though. Got some warning shots earlier. I think his teammate might have blocked him from jumping around the corner, but he's in position nonetheless.
Flamey looking to strike as he moves forwards with Simple. Simple does get sprayed through the smoke though. Nice follow-up from NiP as Rez is the one to get that frag, though the trade is quickly made onto Forest. Or the refrag. And now things calm down a little bit, but Na'Vi have gained some space in the front of the bomb site. And they're working alley as well, in which Electronic will get a pick off. This does not bode well at all for the Swedish side. As Rez will creep forwards, he knows he needs to do something. The play must be made. He's spotted going forwards. He'll be punished by Edward, lopping his head straight off. Get Right, though, standing to attention, coming out of the connector position. Now will lock away the remaining players from Na'Vi, and perhaps, after all, NiP could recover here.
Even if they are to win this round, only 2 players alive at this point. You can see the money on their team. It's non-existent. So any defense in the next round, whether they win or lose this, is going to be likely disastrous. So even if Na'Vi lose this round, 11, there's a fair chance at an 11-4 scoreline for them. So it would not be the worst thing in the world. Na'Vi wrapping towards, no, wrapping, they're an old bomb train. Ships in the night. There's no way Lekro does a 180 here, surely. Looks towards Ivy. Oh, made one step. Oh, he made one step! And that makes it a 2 versus 1. Not planting bomb trains, he's planting for Pop Dog, which is really weird, all things considered. And it will cost him his life, and that gives Get Right the 1 versus 1. Electronic moving towards the main position. Get Right seems to have an idea about this. He has a kit, so he can wait a few seconds, but he stopped looking at the wrong time, looks back, and he still gets the kill. And I really wonder if they planted back trains, what might have happened. But who knows? They had no one to connect to us, so maybe that was part of the reason why. Either way, it is going to be round number 4, but indeed, Get Right, the only person who survives. Na'Vi have tons of money. So we have to look and see what kind of buy NiP are going to have in this round.
How do you get a kill when you start, like the start of the fight, you press the space bar, you land, you have landing inaccuracy for like half a second, then you spray and still get the kill in a 1v1. How does that happen? That's a giveaway, isn't it? From Na'Vi. Really giving Get Right a bit of a chance there. And NiP looking like they are on the road to recovery, but it really takes this round to go quite well. You don't want to lose too many players. Brilliant setup there. Very, very meta. That's very much, what we're seeing in the meta. The baits. Yorpa comes out, and there's the response from the CT setup as well. Able to trade out eventually. Nice patience there from Dennis to wait for the perfect moment to get that trade and not to overplay his hand. But we'll see Na'Vi quickly gravitating towards the B-bomb side. Very, very quickly, in fact. Edward with a pop straight to Dennis's face. Now down to Get Right in the defense. He does get the first one, but there's way more where that came from. Get Right steps into the open, and that will be the last move he makes in this round as now Forest and Rez rotate for the save.
Rez with a nice angle on Flamey, who was looking on the other side. More common emergence. Forest makes sure no one is lurking in the smoke, as they often can be crouching at the bottom of that short slope and nobody's there. Rez being picked up by the AWP. And Forest, I think, he deployed his smoke, which might have saved him here. But the burst, it seems as simple as Trap trying to go for a jump frag, but elevation will help him. And now Zeus is around the corner. He's on a sidewalk position, and surely Forest never expects this. No one picking from the high ground. He's not going to turn around in time, and it is a free kill for Na'Vi. The worst does happen for Ninjas in Pyjamas. They get the reset completely wiped out, and surely this is an 11-4 half now for Na'Vi.
Yeah, that was a really rough situation for Forest. He had to make a guess, and he had to commit to the guess, and it was the wrong guess in the end. Nice frag on Simple though. Again, I like how calm he was, because he didn't have quite enough elevation, but there was another lip that he was able to jump up onto to finish off Simple. But as you say, it's the worst situation for NiP. Last couple rounds, no money, so they'll be force buying both rounds. We'll see the shotgun, the CZ. Nice move there from Flamey, and we'll see whether there can be any kind of additional damage done by NiP, because they're actually going to get a stop here to the aggressive move from from Na'Vi.
Oh, careful. Not careful enough. Simple, the expendable man with the auto shotty. He's enjoying that today. Maybe inspired by... oh, no, Get Right's got one of his own. Okay, 2 versus 2. This is, again, this is very crucial. If NiP can win this round, it might be 6, but no, it won't be. Na'Vi avert disaster. That is 10-4. We'll see what kind of buy NiP have coming into the last round here, and it is gonna suck, unfortunately for them. More pistols and such, so indeed Na'Vi do look good for an 11-4 scoreline, but they need to get there first. There will be smoke grenades and CZs for Ninjas in Pyjamas, and they'll have the map control to start off with. So if Na'Vi are not patient, they may falter. If they are too patient, the same may happen. So there is still definitely round to be fought for. It's just that NiP are ill-equipped.
Yeah, again, a fast move into the outside position. I think this is a good way to do it, because NiP otherwise going to be very aggressive. That's a great spray down from Edward. Catches 2 by the bomb train, though. Forest will return 2 just as quickly. And the serve will go straight back once again into the court of NiP. And they are looking very good at the moment here. Well, their health is not very good, but the 3v2 is definitely much better than they would have expected going into this round, I would imagine. Let's see if they can weather the remaining AKs. Full HP for Zeus. Oh, what a flash! That is so perfect. Wait, was that from Simple over the top?
Ivy.
Oh, okay, from Ivy. Okay, that's good. Simple now on the clutch mission. 1v3. There's the first one. 2 more to go.
Not sure if he saw any of Forest there. Maybe a question mark on the radar or something. Ooh, Get Right has no idea that Simple could be flanking. Is he going to check the bomb train though? He's checked connector, but he's not looking at the bomb train. Oh, look, turn around, do the 180. Surely now. Yes, there it is. Oh, hello. And off he goes. He knows that Forest has got to be around the A site somewhere. Rotates quickly to B. Side plant as well. Could be anywhere. This might work out well for him. Forest has picked up an AK though. Both strong aimers. And Simple, will he expect this Ivy position? Pop dog position rather. First shot, and that is a wrap. 11-4 for Na'Vi. Some scares, but here they are.
Yeah, absolutely. Very scary indeed. The 1v3 clutch from Simple to save this one. And I mean, imagine if Get Right decides to reposition in that spot, you know, he's going to catch Simple and get a free round. So a really nice performance from Na'Vi on that T side. It's strange, you know, NiP, they got off to a great start, but they just were unable to win a lot of the fights. And if you were to look at that first map and then now look at this, you'd be very surprised because NiP were crushing the fights. Everyone was crushing the fights on their team, but now they're struggling a little bit. Let's see if they can win a pistol round here. Again, their strength in the pistol rounds is very good. They won the first one in this map. They only converted to 4 rounds in the first half. Let's see if they can do a better job here.
Much needed pistol round for the Swedish side. Much needed. After such a long comeback attempt on the previous map. They won't want this one to be brief. Dennis, the pistol god, is the first to drop. Not a good sign. Rez will get some revenge. There is a player moving up the IV position as they spread across A. Is there pressure for them to get this bomb down while the smokes are up? Now they've got the... Okay, look at this. Only one frag for Na'Vi, and then that was it. They went absent afterwards. Yeah. NiP, do what is needed.
That's like, it's crazy because I think as soon as Dennis walked in, I think he was the first guy. I'm not sure who got the headshots, but 2 CTs on the site were headshot immediately, which actually, okay, they're still alive, but they're not peeking anymore. And that actually creates a huge problem because NiP can just get all the space they want in the entire site. Because you have to peek something, but they were too afraid to take the initiative. And because, you know, you're just thinking about yourself. You don't think about, oh, my teammate's tagged, that guy's tagged. I guess someone has to do something. Instead, everyone's thinking for themselves in that spot, and no one's peeking.
Yeah, that is crippling. We've got stereo frags coming in from Na'Vi. Simple with the scout once again, but there is some revenge being had. But Simple continues to be a problem with this freaking scout. 2 versus 1 now. There's a tag for Get Right. Surely the end is nigh. The USP is out. He tags him again. He's got 14 HP. Back to the scout. Trying to jump around to the Olaf position, but what does he do from here? Simple, look, he loves it. He wants it. He wants it bad. He's got him contained. Oh my God.
Oh, he was looking for something special. It was pretty good in the end.
We didn't see many of those kills, but just Simple loving life, man. Reminds me of team when he was playing for Team Liquid at the Columbus Major, and every time he did something crazy, the crowd would spur him on, and he'd just get more and more ridiculous. But pretty good when you got Simple on your team. Simple on train, ruining lives.
And that's what happened on the first, well, not exactly that, but that, again, like, you know, NiP won the first pistol in the first half, and then they got reset again straight away, and then had to force buy. Only Dennis with an AK. Someone has taken the sacrifice. Get Right took the sacrifice to buy him the AK. And he's going to go down without any damage done really with it. So not a good start for NiP.
Has that molly come in soon enough? I think Forest is safe from it, trying to punish. Trying to punish maybe some assumptions from the CT side, but unable to do so. That leaves Lecro and Get Right. It is around that bomb site where, the B bomb site where we saw lots of highlights from Lecro and a Deagle in a losing round, but not this time. Over towards Ivy, and Simple is there, and Simple says no. 13-5 here on Train.
Yes, hard times for NiP, isn't it? It's, again, at the start of the series, you know, before the game, you know, you said to me, oh, you know, I'm not so sure about the Na'Vi 2-0. And after the first map, I was like, whoa, it looks like an NiP 2-0. But now it's just like completely, the last two maps so far have looked really good from Na'Vi in comparison to how NiP are playing. NiP just having a bit of a struggle. On the struggle bus.
I called it 2-1. It could only be 2-0 or 2-1, but that's not the point, damn it.
Just the manner in which the game has taken place is pretty unpredictable. So we'll see some good starts here. A good start here from the likes of Electronic and Edwards. Simple to finish. 14 rounds to the 5 of NiP. They are looking like they're about to be kicked right out the door unless they're able to somehow find a way to stay. And this bye is really the last good chance for NiP. If they lose this, they're going to have to force bye. And okay, they do have some loss bonus, but they're going to need a bomb plant to have anything that looks like a good bye if they lose this round for the following round. So everything looks pretty awful right now for NiP. What do they do?
Get right with the bouncy pop flash, but it's avoided by all who are relevant. Is that 24 for 8 for Simple? I think it is. Oh, he's ready for it. Straight in the face. Straight in the face from Simple. And the setup is not even revealed with Zeus in the corner there. But no one else is there to harass, and I think the flank has already begun for the CT side, and they are still getting kills here on the A side. The pop flash towards main, and Rez is eliminated by Simple. So it is 4 players on the A side. There's a flank towards main from the final CT player, who doesn't need to continue the flank here. Like Zeus in this position, because he's the only person containing the rotation. Often CT will just hold his position. Going for an extremely long-range spray. I don't know why. All he needs to do is tap in that situation, but there we go. So now they don't have eyes on a potential rotation. They haven't seen the bomb. So Forest could theoretically make his way towards B. Not quite happening, though. Now they see the bomb. 47 seconds, however, for this rotation to come in. There's still play for NiP here.
Still play, still a chance, still some hope. NiP do slow things down a little bit. The health is an issue for sure. Means that you have very little margin for error when the fight happens, but will this read be good for Na'Vi? Are NiP going to drop down Pop Dog together? Looks like that might be the case. But the thing is for Na'Vi is that they can themselves go down Pop Dog, and they may very well do so. It is at this point their best rotation option. And oftentimes you're going to see a plant in this position be for Ali, and so if you have Pop Dog as the CTs, that's a nice spot to have, but really announcing his presence there. Now Electronic will go down silently, but Lecro seems to be ready and waiting for this one. Ooh, they're looking for the trade frag. I won't do it in time. Nice positioning there from the likes of NiP. And you wonder how that may have looked if the first player was silent going down the ladder, so they could and then waited for his teammate so they could actually play a trade.
Yeah, they took a gamble, tried to stop the bomb planter from planting the bomb because of the time on the clock. So they took a calculated risk, didn't work out for them. And such is life. 6-14, 8 rounds for NiP to catch up, and that's the first buy round they've won. They won the pistol, lost 3 rounds in a row, so I don't know how much expectation we can have here, as there is a buy with 2 sniper rifles here for Na'Vi, and they do have that boost on connector, which we spoke about in the first half many moons ago. Smokes are up. Electronic, though, his position has been outplayed by Forest. And now with these smokes down, Simple will have more angles to worry about. But Forest has been traded. You see Flamey from back train, so Simple can focus on other angles.
Yeah, that kill onto Forest by Flamey is so important. Now there's so much more space for Simple to work with. Doesn't have to worry about that push from the right side. Spray comes in from Edward. He's good for 1. Gets the information. Simple. The smoke will dissipate. He's going to have angles now to be able to shoot his opponents. And it's maybe I just use singular. And Zeus will finish him off with a timely flank from B through Pop Dog. 15 rounds now. Match points here for an RV. They've worked hard for this one. And honestly, on Mirage, it really looked like they're about to throw everything away towards the end. But they've managed to compose themselves. They managed to bring themselves to this position. It's a strong one. And NiP don't have much to fight with. Pots and pans, sticks and stones, UMPs and deagles.
Presume it is a tactical from NiP. Right, lads, we've got not much. How do we get something out of this? How do we reset our opponent? Got to focus on the goal, no matter how bad it might look for them. This would be an unceremonious loss for Ninjas in Pyjamas, especially the way that this series began. Seems oh so long ago, and perhaps it is. Simple on the sniper, Edward on the MP7 now. So the two snipers from the previous round, only one has been carried over. But Edward seems well prepared for the kind of buy that NiP might have. We'll see if they meet each other in a choke points. Two players towards B to kick things off, and indeed Edward will be close quarters in the pop dog position. I think Simple just saw somebody's dome up high. They haven't seen him though, and he will drag his mouse down to pick off Forest.
Yeah, the timing worked out really well there. I don't think Forrest had any idea that he was at the end of the corridor. And he'll get to back away now. Sliding down the wooden plank to avoid the full damage. Ooh, Necro. Hello. Oh my god. Okay, now NiP have created an opportunity for themselves. Some good deagle frags go a long way. Lecro gets even another one. He's... oh, Lecro. 3 kills on the deagle from him. The bomber is planted. Now Simple down on onto the clutch. Gets the tag. If he knew to pull out the pistol, he would be able to have a pretty good opportunity to take this, but Jaws is coming. And he will be consumed. So NiP managed to stay in this with a triple kill from Lecro's deagle. But they need to find more consistency than that. That's not a consistent approach. That said, Na'Vi's lost all their money now. So at least for NiP, they'll be able to get a couple rounds strung together.
Yeah, it's not often you see comebacks from this kind of situation, especially on a map such as Train. The odds are very small for the Swedish side, but there are odds, which means there is a chance.
There are odds. They exist.
See, he knows as well. He can hear me. He's smiling. He can't hear me, FYI. Integrity is intact. It's all good. All right, then. Not much that Na'Vi have to offer in this round. Let's see how much they will invest into it. Electronic down to 700. A late buy coming in from the remainder of the team. Pretty much a forced buy here from Na'Vi. 3 CZs and some Deagles. So this is a very dangerous buy, and you can see there's a greatly timed flashbang. Now NiP know that no one is going to be in pop dog, so they can quickly go into pop if they want to, and have some diagonal angles through the site. They'll look to pressure the Ivy position as well, and then they can plant the bomb.
Oh my god, I saw the headshot from Simple there. Not quite though. Conversion. One more conversion to happen before the big guns are bought by Na'Vi. Big bad guns. All those arrows on the floor. Arrows and lines. Needs a new bit of fresh paint, I think. Ooh, we've got quick HEs there into team aim. Flamey going into pop dog. What's the plan for NiP here? I liked Na'Vi on the T side, the way they were doing anti-ecos. They were pretty much just rushing into the A yard, which was, if you can get out the first 2 choke points, it's pretty easy from that point. You can just play deathmatch, and you're going to have a superior advantage. A superior advantage? You're going to have an advantage with those AKs against the pistols. My advantage is superior, James.
Well, you can have different advantages that don't necessarily clash, but one can be more important than the other one. One can be an advantage which wins you a battle, but one can be one which wins you a war. So in that sense, you could have a superior advantage.
Well, they don't, James. 0 advantages. Maybe they have inferior advantages. Right now, I don't know what I'm saying anymore. It should be over soon. Guns will be bought, and we can talk about the Counter-Strike again. The pistols will go away, and we can get back into normal programming.
Bish bosh. I want to play CS.
Yeah, it's been a little while.
Where is Flamey? There he is. NiP 1 round away from double figures, and at that point, I think once you get to 10, 15, I feel like maybe there is, you're over some kind of psychological milestone, 1 round at a time. You don't have that kind of defeatist feeling anymore. And you start to close in. You get to 13-15. You're like, okay, this is going to overtime. 1 round at a time. Na'Vi do not have the spectacular buys anymore. Simple's gone from an AWP to an MP7. So that is less than ideal.
Simple's around 110 ADR at the moment. He's having a good game. So Lekro with the highest ADR on his side, 88. Next closest player is 79 on Forest. So definitely a bit of a disparity there. Na'Vi having individually a superior game. Again, if you look at Overpass and then you look at this, it's hard to imagine the difference in NiP, I think. I think Na'Vi have been pretty stable throughout the series individually. I think we just saw a big drop-off after map 1 from NiP in that category. That said, the initial pick will go to Na'Vi, and being a match point, it's got to feel good.
NiP, because they smoked themselves off in main to look over the smoke with an AWP and a boost, they've kind of compromised their entrance into the A site, so they've got to be very careful now. But that does allow Na'Vi to get into very forward positions. Use force back quickly, and we've got the frags raining in here for Ninjas in Pyjamas, but the bomb's been picked off. 40-second mark could be worse. Does Electronic go to his right once again? He does and manages to survive for the time being, but eventually they will be eliminated. Simple now, last man standing, 2 in the red. Now it's Lekro with 9 HP after 2 super fast frags from Simple. He tries to collect the bomb, but he will not be allowed to. That is it. 2-1 in favor of Na'Vi over Ninjas in Pyjamas here on Train.
Yeah, Simple really delivered as always for Na'Vi, so that's always good to see. Again, I'm just a little bit disappointed that we didn't see more awesome stuff from NiP individually, because again, I can't really stress it enough. If you missed the first map, they looked like they were in peak form. Like, it looked great condition. Then it sort of just waned as the series went on longer and longer. But that's great, because Na'Vi showed that consistency, even though we had Zeus almost maybe blowing up and Mirage and maybe a tilt buy, which could have like lost them that map. They recovered.
That's enough from us about this match. Over to Paul and the desk for their thoughts on this 2-1 series.
Yes, thank you very much. James and DDK, who will be back for our final series commentary-wise as well. Very interesting match. A game that went all 3. We had an ace in there. We had Zeus getting Zeused. We had comebacks. We had all sorts. Are you not entertained by good Counter-Strike? I ask the panel members. Just Sean, Garrison, Thorin.
It was pretty good, actually.
It was all right, wasn't it?
Yeah, I liked it.
For a group stage game, you don't get that many exciting matches.
We
normally.
always say, right, all the analysts, the thing that's so incredible about watching Simple at the moment is it feels like he never has a bad game.
Right.
Well, the first map, he was definitely bad. He actually never got going. In fact, he's been slow to start all the maps at the tournament so far.
Today,
Second map, he was all right, but he wasn't the main reason his team won the game. If you survive 2 maps without him playing even vaguely the best on his team as NiP, you're not going to get 3 in a row. So on the third one, he was just superhuman, and then it was basically game over already. And then beyond that, though, it's not just about Simple. Electronic was really good in this series.
Electronic was phenomenal in this entire series. He's, in my opinion, the sole reason why they won on Mirage. His heroics on the T-half. You could feel if Na'Vi didn't put up a big T-half, which both teams actually were constantly putting up good T-halves throughout the entire series. But if he didn't have a good performance on T-side Mirage, that map probably doesn't go their way, because NiP was just winning so many clutches on their T-side. But I think the problem with NiP in this series was the fact that they didn't have, a dominant AWP presence that they typically would have had. So you can see on their CT sides, their holds were just lacking a lot of times. They never had those opening kills, and they just never got into rounds like you typically have been seeing NiP do in the past couple tournaments.
Yeah, certainly didn't get enough rounds on the CT side on Train, that's for sure.
And that obviously can be a factor of having a new player in the lineup, trying to work someone in, especially when this is the downside of losing a dedicated AWPer. As much as Draken had his own flaws, you get a totally different dynamic to how you're going to play the CT side, how a spot's going to work. And as I was saying before, since this is a map that can heavily rely upon the AWP, you saw like Lekro were very unconvincing with it on this one. When they tried swapping it around, didn't really make as much sense, and as usual, Simple on the CT side can go wherever he wants to go.
Oh, he went
it's so hard to play against him.
Once they allowed him to get that scout, I think it was like 3K on the outside yard rush on the second eco round, he just took off at that point. Like that, at that point, he entered the game, and there was no turning back for Na'Vi, and they closed that out pretty quickly at that point.
I did just some highlights from the first map, which seems such a long time ago now. Overpass was a 16-6 win for NiP. Rez went 20 for 13 in that game. Lecro 17 for 13. Forest 18 and 12. GTR 16 and 10. That was also the electronic ace in that game as well. So no real highlights for Na'Vi in that game. They got absolutely destroyed. Mirage on the other way round, where NiP were great on T-side on Overpass. Na'Vi likewise on Mirage, winning the first half 12-3. Going on to win 16-13 in that one, which is quite a tight score in the end. Electronic, though, in that game went 32 for 14. Yeah. Simple went 23 for 14. And it's worth pointing out, Lecro also had a very good game, 25 for 21 for NiP. And then finally, Simple 33 for 13, just to, rub Electronic's nose in it from Mirage by getting one more kill and one less death. Electronic also went 22 for 15 as well, as you can see from the scoreboard. Like, fantastic performance. Simple's ended this plus 28, 71-43 over the 3 games.
Even though
with
for
the
first two maps,
for two quiet maps.
Yeah. You were like, oh, he's just not on, is he? And then the third one, it's just like, well,
he's going to get his.
So I'm just going to, you know what? I fancy going now, so I'm just going to end this game.
It almost seemed
now.
like that in the last round. It was like, okay, guys, can you stop messing around now? Oh, fine, I'll kill them all. 3-man, no problem. Yeah, he finishes 71-43.
I will just say, though, even though he was already at nearly a 30 bomb, on the one round where they only had enough money for 4 guns, he had an MP7.
Yeah, no big deal.
Because, they don't always learn their lessons.
And he still gets
Na'Vi boys.
He still gets a 4 kill.
He still got some
no
kills,
no big deal.
Is it worth even having a discussion about MVP? Or do you want to just give it to
pretty good so far, isn't it?
I don't know. I think Electronic is playing pretty well.
Do you want to give it to Electronic this time?
To be fair, Electronic actually could contend in this, especially because what I like about Electronic's game is, funnily enough, I always compare Simple to Cold Zero because he was the past great player that we had. And if you compare him, Simple blows Cold Zero out the server because Simple's doing all this crazy stuff that looks amazing. But the thing is, it's actually Electronic who's more like the Cold Zero's type player. Yeah. He's so methodical. He gets his kills in the same way. His aim can be pretty nuts, but he actually relies more on positioning, being smart with the duels he does take. He's not doing crazy peaks and crazy angles and so. The good thing is, whenever his game's going, because he can kind of rely that there's an inevitability to Simple's game, it means that you have a consistency to the Na'Vi squad, as opposed to 4 people just kind of running around while Simple tries to kill everyone.
Which is kind of crazy because we always thought Flamey would be that person, right? But it appears lately when Navi's found this form that Electronic is that second carry to Simple.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's had a great series.
If you look, that's actually one of the reasons I think that the team balance works now, because since they don't need Flamey to do any of that, because Simple is such a carry and Electronic's pretty good, it means that actually Flamey has no pressure on him. Sometimes he has good games, he just has to do a little bit, and if you don't ask too much of him, he can absolutely be an adequate player. Yeah,
Electronic finishes 64-47, plus 17, second best on the server. Third, overall, both teams is Lecro, 61-53, and Get Right, worth a note, 49-48. Staying positive despite losing in a 2-1 best of 3. They're the only 4 in positive KD, so decent performances all around.
Yeah, like I said, I don't think anyone in NiP played poorly by any means, but you could tell that they really missed having an AWP player in this particular best of 3. They were just constantly getting off by Simple throughout the entire map, and yeah, that's something they're gonna have to address going forward on their CT sides, because their T sides look pretty good actually. They look very strong. Their trading is on point.
Yep. All right, good stuff. We're going to head to a break right now. We've got one more series to come, so don't go too far away. It is, of course, our elimination match. We'll lose our first team of the first 2 days. Who's it going to be, though? A team who in all sorts of trouble from the first match, or maybe China can get its first team through to the quarterfinals. Whatever it is, we'll find out after the break.